Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, thank you for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, the pressure that is coming from Mount Kenya is giving William Ruto sleepless nights. After the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, it seems like Plan A and Plan B are not working for William Ruto because William Ruto continues to experience rebellion in that region. Rigathi Gachagua has decided to lock out William Ruto completely. Kithure Kindiki, who was given that role to try and unite a division that William Ruto deliberately and intentionally created of Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West, and he was given that role to unite it, is not succeeding in any way because Rigathi Gachagua continues to gain more sympathy and support against Kithure Kindiki. And on 9th, we saw William Ruto rush to Gatundu to meet Uhuru Kenyatta. Sources indicate that William Ruto had tried so hard to invite Uhuru in State House because he knew that he would gain political mileage when cameras capture them in State House. That is his territory. But Uhuru has been a president and he knows the machinations. Uhuru worked with William Samoei Ruto, and so sources indicate that he declined that invitation. Instead, he allowed William Ruto to go to Gatundu because now in Shaweri, Uhuru takes charge. There have been speculations that perhaps after William Ruto begged on his knees for a handshake, they had agreed on some cabinet appointments and that William Ruto would appoint a few members of Uhuru's people in the cabinet, something that has really brought about some tension within the broad-based government because I've seen people like Robert Alai asking why, after serving for 2 terms, Uhuru still wants his people to be included in the cabinet. Reading from the statement that Uhuru gave us, Uhuru cleared the air that we talked about pertinent issues that are bedeviling Kenyans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what has caught my attention is that William Ruto was in Shaweri on 9th. Then just a day passed, and on 10th, in fact, he was there on 9th, then a day that was 10th, then 11th, that is just a day after their meeting, Uhuru hosted another delegation from the embassy, US embassy, and from the UK. And I want us to go straight to this communication because it is going to form the gist and the foundation of this content. Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell. Kindly give this video many likes, it helps the video, and share if you can share videos. Thank you once again for your continued support. Thank you to all our returning subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the communication from Uhuru's office was this. Mark Dillard, the new charge d'affaires at the US Embassy in Kenya, and UK High Commissioner to Kenya, Neil Wigan, separately paid a courtesy visit to His Excellency President Retired Uhuru Kenyatta at his Gatundu home. Their discussion focused on the Nairobi peace process and regional peace initiatives. And I think that serves it. Many a times, when these dignitaries and leaders meet, they will always give us what we can read on the face value. And I know that if there is something that is at the heart of the US and UK, is this choreographed peace. Because sometimes they even create some chaos in some countries, and then they're the ones who will be leading, appointing some presidents to go and lead the peacekeeping or the peace process. So Uhuru tells us that they discussed the peace process and regional peace initiatives, which I think is very true because there was once a time Uhuru was appointed to lead peacekeeping in Congo. When you ask many experts, they will tell you the war in Congo is man-made. A country that is rich in minerals, endowed with natural resources, but the poorest in Africa. The curse of gold, the curse of minerals. So they must have discussed peace. But then eyebrows are raised because just a day after William Ruto had gone there, and some quarters were saying that William Uhuru Kenyatta might have refused some of his demands, we see a delegation going to Ishaweri. And many feel that this could be an attempt by William Ruto to send these diplomats to Uhuru Kenyatta because Uhuru Kenyatta will give them some audience. And why do you think many people feel that it could be an attempt of William Ruto to win back Uhuru Kenyatta after mistreating him, mistreating his mother, his family, trying to interfere with his businesses? People draw their conclusion from the fact that US, UK, and all these the Western countries have always been involved in our affairs before, during, and after elections. In 2017, when Raila disputed elections and said that the elections was rigged, even though he agreed, he said, even though we don't agree with the verdict of the Supreme Court, we will accept because we fought for this new constitution. The Delaware Senator Chris Coons rushed to the country and he brokered a peace deal between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, and they had a handshake. Then in 2022, Chris Coons rushed to the country again at the height and at the center of Azimio protest. And we had some tranquility in the country. That is where people believe that Raila was convinced and persuaded to allow William Ruto to continue, governing the country, because Raila had said we don't recognize the legitimacy of William Ruto's presidency. We want the servers to be opened. It is believed that is why he was told, go for the AU seat, we will support you. Now, before the elections, many people thought that Uhuru Kenyatta was with Raila. He had the deep state, the machinery, the police, the military, NIS. And with this, many people, including the Azimio supporters, said Raila has been winning, and therefore this time round, no one will rig elections because he's got the deep state. But William Ruto triumphed, only to realize later that it was Meg Whitman and the US that had decided to supervise our elections and manipulate it to give William Ruto a win. Before you accuse me, please open the server and you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to paint for you a picture that the West has always been at the center of our elections and governance, before, during, and after. So with this, even when Chris Coons came to the country, there was something came up. They birthed something called the NADCO, National Dialogue Committee. On the Azimio side, it was headed by Kalonzo, and on the other side, Kimani Chungwa, who had been making a lot of noise that Raila wanted to come to the government through the back door. But finally, because of the forces of our prefect, Meg Whitman, and all those people, they agreed, they sat down, and that was the ceasefire. So with all this, many feel that Ruto might have sent these foreign diplomats to go and try and persuade Uhuru Kenyatta to support his government. And number two, to try and look into what is happening in Mount Kenya so that the humiliation can stop, because William Ruto fears he's about to embark on a development tour come Kithure Kindiki's Thanksgiving ceremony. In Kenya, we have a culture that once you've been appointed or elected in a position, then the government would go there and start launching you. They launch people the way they launch projects, that we love you, that's why we gave you your person, your son or your daughter, this position, because they are using that as a bait so that you can support the government. They will dangle that as a carrot. The government does not believe that you are a shareholder simply because you are paying taxes. They believe you need to support it first. That is what Sabina Chege told us, that they don't want to be in the position because they will not get development. And we've had very many members saying, let us support William Ruto to get development. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it seems William Ruto is scared, and so he sent this delegation just a day after they had met with Uhuru Kenyatta, so that they can try and persuade Uhuru Kenyatta to support him. They can persuade Uhuru Kenyatta to forgive him. They can persuade him to try and look for peace and tranquility in Mount Kenya, because he believes Uhuru still, commands some support in the country, commands some support in Mount Kenya. Be that as it may, Kenyans have a message for them. We are not boarding. In fact, William Ruto seems to be uniting the dynasties. He's not a hustler now. He's joined the camp of dynasties. And so Uhuru, Raila, Ruto, they are together. And with this, he believes that Kenyans are still listening to their de facto leaders. But Kenyans are saying, whether you take all of them, you have a right to do so, but we are not going to follow you. We are suffering alone. The dynasties can take the children to the best international schools. When they are sick, they get to the best international hospitals. So we are not going to be hoodwinked that you've taken them and you think we are going to follow blindly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we wait and see, because seems to be a looming reshuffle where these people are going to be kicked away according to the information that we have, and they want to replace them with Uhuru people and Raila and all that. Already there is tension. ODM wants the interior cabinet secretary position, but others are saying that Uhuru has donated the former health minister Mutai Kagwe, so that they can pacify Nyeri, they can pacify Mount Kenya. But I also understand that Chirchir is being proposed by the Kalenjins. They are saying this position is so delicate, we need it. So we need to wait and see just what is going to happen. But many people feel that this meeting was not just an ordinary meeting. There was Ruto's hidden hand in it. I don't know what you think.